Welcome back, everyone. We are back here for the closing ceremony of the first Canada STEMathon, Girls and Allies 2025. And what an amazing week we've had. Hey, before we get started, though, I want to bring back our co-host, Emily Forster.
Hey, Karthik.
Hello, Emily. I was just saying, what an amazing 24 hours it's been, a little bit more than 24 hours now at this point. We started with the introduction of our theme, disaster relief, risk reduction, response, and recovery. And we've had some great presentations, both in the opening ceremony and the ones that you gave to the judges. You worked all night on your solutions. Some teams, in fact, stayed up all night. And we know you wowed the judges with your infographics and your pitches. So many amazing things. So I just want to say, to start things off, thank you all for your hard work. This event has been impressive on a lot of different levels. This event's been happening now for 6 years. And it started as a little bit of a disaster response of its own to the disaster that was the COVID-19 pandemic. And back then, students could not meet in person. And so First Canada was like, we needed an event. We needed something where students could still connect in meaningful ways and solve problems, but virtually. And that's where we came up with the idea of the STEMathon. And it's gone forward, and the pandemic ended, and we can meet in person again. We just thought that this event had so much power because there was so much impact in it. And Emily, you were a participant in this event in the early years, right?
I wasn't, but I was on the youth
Or-
council when it first
Yes.
started
So you
on the
were part
first
you were
year.
part of the origins of
Uh,
the event,
I was
rather.
part, yeah, I was part from the very beginning, and the way the event has grown, and like as I said in the opening ceremony 6 years ago, I never thought that this event would still be going today, and it's just amazing to see how much energy these teams have and how much interest everyone has in this event. And you should all just be very proud of yourself, no matter what happens. Be very proud. You all did amazing. I've been in and out of the Slack all weekend, and the ideas that teams came up with were amazing.
And yeah, there was this some really creative problem solving that went into this. And the level of solutions we saw this year was so many physical prototypes. We had teams with full breadboards, 3D printed models,
Mhm.
teams who had videos like of a newscast in their presentation. It was just so in depth, a fully working video game. There's just like a lot going on there. But maybe it was
Absolutely.
more important than the solutions was the level of empathy that was shown in them. A lot of times when you go to traditional, sorry, I'm choking here, traditional hackathons, a lot of people are focused on the solution that's going to make the most amount of money, which is a goal and it's a choice, and there's nothing wrong with that. But it felt that the teams here at the STEMathon were looking at the solutions that were going to help the most people. So what they weren't being motivated by profit. They were looking at a sense of bettering our community and making our community safer and more resistant to disaster. And not only just making our communities better, but really focusing on the underserved communities. And I was really proud to see that there was a overall thought of aid here. And folks, if this is the solution making and this is the problem solving we're going to take forward into the future, I feel like our world's going to be in a better place, right, Emily?
Absolutely. Like we gave a hard challenge. Like the theme was not an easy theme. It was a very big, broad theme. You could do very many things with it. Like some teams chose to be proactive, some teams decided to be reactive, and it's just really amazing what everyone was able to come up with. And the ideas were genius. Like it's this event I love because there's so many ideas that you just wouldn't think of when we come up with the theme. Like we were like we can never imagine these ideas coming up, and they come up by these amazing teams.
Well, yeah, we were in awe of everything that you did. And so, folks, we got a lot going on here today. We got a guest speaker, and of course, we're going to be handing out all those awards that you're waiting to find out about. So we're going to do that in just a moment. We're going to be back after a word from one of our sponsors, Rockwell Automation. Thank you, Rockwell, for all your support. All right, folks, now to open today's closing ceremony, please welcome via video President of First Robotics Canada, Dave Ellis.
Thanks, Karthik. It's a true honor to be here at First Robotics Canada's annual STEMathon, an event that celebrates not only innovation and teamwork, but the power of young minds to tackle some of the world's most urgent challenges. This year's theme, disaster relief, risk reduction, response, and recovery, couldn't be more timely or more important. Around the world, communities are facing the devastating effects of natural disasters, from wildfires and floods to hurricanes and earthquakes. Although on a very small scale compared with many others' experiences around the world, like Dorothy mentioned yesterday, I have quite a few personal experiences where I've been impacted by serious situations. When I was a young boy, I lived in Mississauga, and there was a major train derailment in 1979. I know that's a long time ago, 1979, if you can believe it. According to Wikipedia, it required more than 200,000 people to be evacuated in the largest peacetime evacuation in North America until Hurricane Katrina happened. The train happened to be carrying hazardous waste materials. They caught on fire, and that was what caused the evacuation. My family actually had to relocate, as many of these people did in Mississauga, temporarily, of course, but my parents were involved in the response, supporting the first responders. I remember being quite scared at the time, but it turns out that no one was killed, thanks to the quick actions of the disaster response team. Pretty amazing. In 2013, we were in the middle of a renovation on our house in late December when a massive ice storm hit southern Ontario and wiped out power to a large area of the province for many, many days. We were actually without power for over a week. Being without electricity in the dead of winter was a challenge, but luckily we had just installed a fireplace that was gas and a gas stove as well. So we all huddled around the fire in a lot of clothes to stay warm, and we drank cocoa on Christmas morning. Certainly a time that I'll never forget. That year, the first LEGO League theme happened to be about natural disasters, which was perfect timing for the Ontario teams. And there was an Ontario team who had coincidentally created a solution to ice forming on wires. Amazing. Their solution involved running a little robot across the wires whenever the ice was sensed to be forming on the lines. They called it the Ice Squirrel, and they won the Innovation Award for their solution at the International Open that they competed at that spring. You know, it's examples like these of creative thinking that drives innovation in society and helps us to make continual improvements in how we plan, how we operate, and ultimately, how we keep people safe. There are countless other examples of very serious disasters, and these instances are only going to get more frequent and more intense as we continue global warming and its consequences, as well as many other disasters caused directly by humans, like oil spills, nuclear reactor leaks, mining collapses, for example. However, as we've seen throughout this STEMathon, the next generation of STEM leaders is ready to meet these challenges head on. You've not only imagined a safer future, you've started building it. And that's only within a short 24-hour window. Your creativity, collaboration, and compassion are truly inspiring. I honestly believe that we are in good hands thanks to people like you who are imagining the possibilities, developing skills to solve big problems, and who have the passion to tackle the challenges that are ahead of us. I'd like to pause and take a moment to thank our staff and volunteers. Events like this aren't possible without an incredible team behind the scenes. The planning committee is a small group of dedicated people who are passionate about this event and come back every year to make sure it's the best it can be. This is our 6th year running this STEMathon, and that's amazing. So thank you to the planning committee. An event like this, of course, however, goes far beyond just the planning. In order to be executed effectively, there are other volunteers serving as production crew, show hosts, Twitch moderators, and of course the mentors who have worked hard with you to get your ideas to be developed further and to come to life. Since we are about to hand out the awards, we also can't forget about the judges who have had the fun job of hearing your pitches, but the challenging job of having to select winners from so many great teams. So a huge thank you to all of the volunteers and staff who made this possible. To all the participants, you have shown that STEM isn't just about code, circuits, or equations. It's about solving real problems for real people. Keep building, keep imagining, and never stop using your talents to make the world a better place. I hope you've all had a lot of fun and learned a lot. You're inspiring, and I wish you the best of luck as the awards get handed out today. But know that all of you have accomplished something amazing regardless, and you should all be very proud. It's incredible to think of what can happen with a small team of people, and it gives me great confidence to know that not only is FIRST developing amazing young talent, but that young talent is preparing to go into society with a desire to make a positive impact on their communities, on our country, and on the world as a whole. We need more caring, smart, creative innovators like you to help turn our trajectory around. And there are countless problems to solve. So get fired up about something and go out there and make a difference. Thanks, everyone. Back to you, Karthik.
Karthik, we can't hear you, but welcome back. Next.
Here we go. I am
Oh, there
back,
we
and
go.
we're going to be back in just a few minutes, folks, after we just get ourselves reset. Maybe get my microphone working. All right. Thanks, everyone. All right, we're all straightened out. My mic's good. My mic's good here. So, Emily, we've had one group of people who really helped out with this event and so many things that First Canada has done over the past so many years, and that's the Youth Council. And so, Emily, why don't you tell us a little bit about the First Canada Youth Council? Because you were a
Well,
part of it in 2020 and 2021.
2019 and 2019 to end of 2021. So
Okay,
yeah.
there we go.
But yeah, so I was on the first year of the First Canada Youth Council, and it's an amazing opportunity. It's a lots of fun. There's students from all over teams on FRC and FTC teams in Canada that you get to talk to, create initiatives. For example, one big initiative that I started back when I was in the Youth Council was Project Green, which I'm happy to say is still live today. And if there's something that you're interested in or something that you want to create as an initiative, you could just sort of do that on the youth council. For example, the youth council helped run those amazing breakout rooms today, or the escape rooms today. Yeah, it's just a lot of fun, and you get to make so many connections. You get to volunteer at events. Yeah,
You get to run the First Canada TikTok account,
that one.
which has
Yeah,
been spectacular, which you should all follow. That's a fun one for sure. But just there's so much to do. Like they do so much of the social media. So
yeah.
Youth Council applications are actually open right now, and that link is going to go into the STEMathon Slack momentarily. So folks, sign up. Deadline will be, we haven't announced the deadline yet, but it's probably going to be it'll be after the end of the school year. So like probably July 1 or something like that. So there's plenty of time for you to get your applications in. But take a look at it and really consider the opportunity. But we got to thank some other groups who've been a big part of the STEMathon, and that is our sponsors. We've had so many sponsors who've helped, provide for this entire event to make it a reality. So let's take a look and recognize our sponsors. Our three STEMathon sponsors are Enbridge Gas, Magna International, and Rockwell Automation. So teams, we know you've been really busy working on your own projects, and you were probably like, I want to see what the other teams have done. Well, now's our chance. We're going to take a look at a video of all the infographics made by all the teams. So enjoy. Hey folks, we're gonna run that video one more time. We realized that our graphics, Zoom was putting our video blocks over top of that. So we're gonna run that video one more time so everyone can see those infographics in detail. All right, folks, we are back. Those infographics were wild. And teams, by the way, if you want to share your infographics out, feel free to post them off in general right now, just so everyone can see them high resolution, take a zoom and everything like that. But again, I just never cease to be impressed by these infographics, to how quickly teams turn around. Like, not only are you working on this project and this presentation, but then they have the time to make such a detailed image. And also, I really love how teams use data on them.
Yeah, no, I love these infographics every year because it's just crazy because they're so hot, detailed and there's such nice animations on them and it's so cool to see, especially because not only like as you said, the teams have to come up with their idea, find the solution to their idea, do all that, make the presentation, and then make an infographic to explain it all. And it's
Yeah,
just so impressive. And the kind of infographics that come out of this event are just
and
gorgeous.
it would be really easy to throw together something sloppy, but none of our
Yeah,
teams did that. It was like well-oiled professional, really
yeah,
impressive.
it's
All
very
right, folks.
competitive.
Okay, we're almost ready for the awards. We're almost there, but before we do that, I'll look at a word from one of our sponsors, Enbridge.
Manufacturing is the cornerstone of our economy. However, it is one of the largest contributors to greenhouse gas emissions. There are a multitude of solutions, including energy efficiency, low carbon technologies such as renewable natural gas, geothermal, and hydrogen, and they all play a part in the transition towards a clean energy future.
A specific example of how Enbridge is leading the energy transition is leveraging our storage assets where we've been safely storing natural gas for 75 years, and to now look at those same assets to store new things such as hydrogen.
There are areas that you just can't electrify efficiently. So for instance, the making of steel, where they use gas or coal as part of the process itself. You have to use something that's to replace those elements, and hydrogen fits the bill.
It's just beginning. We're starting to scale up pilot projects and demonstration projects to utility scale size and implement real change.
All right, folks. Before we get to the awards, we want to recognize a couple groups of people who've been working tirelessly for months to put this event together. They've been responsible for setting up all the details for this event, large and small. They are your STEMathon Planning Committee. And you probably saw a lot of them in Slack this week. All right, our planning committee members are, well, there's me and Emily right there.
And then we have
Uh,
Caitlin A and Miriam S from the First Canada Youth Council.
Aidan Monder and Angela Tolis.
And then we have Julia McFarlane and Mahek Dhaliwal.
And from the First Canada staff, Artie Javeri and Jaylene Koszowski.
And then we have Joanna Whitney, Lisa Ramraj, and Sherry Lynn Koszowski from the First Canada staff.
All right, that's our planning committee. All right, now, Emily, the awards. And we have got some really cool awards. We talked about them yesterday, but Emily, like, tell us what we're dealing with here today.
Oh, we're dealing with some incredible awards. So as we mentioned, the first place award, a Bamboo Lab A1 mini printer, just amazing. Then we have some amazing mini projectors, and then we also have some cool Arduino starter kits. And then also we have lots of First Canada merch going out.
Yeah, over $3,000 of prizes in total that are being handed out here today.
Mm-hmm.
So I think to do this, we just got one last group to recognize. Let's just thank our judges again. So let's take a look at our judges.
Yeah.
All right, Emily, who do we have?
Alrighty.
Maybe we missed a slide, folks. There we go.
Oh, there we go. Starting off, we have Britt McKinnon, a process engineer at Hatch, and Jahek Bora, an account coordinator at Godin's Productions.
Praneet Trivedi, senior mechanical designer from Alcado Technologies, and Rishi Jotsangani, director of data at Prodigy Education.
And then we have Shanika Mahako, a special projects coordinator at First Robotics Canada, and Stacy Richardson, a senior health and safety application professional at 3M Personal Safety Division Canada.
All right, folks, and now it's time to hand out our awards. So our first set of awards is for our games from this afternoon, for everyone who joined in. And I think we're going to start off with the scavenger hunt. And our scavenger hunt award winners are Alina S. from Team 8, Storm Tech, and Lisa D. from Team 15, Percy Jackson, Stuck in a Blue Fire. And our next set of awards is the winners of the escape room, which was made by the Youth Council. Fabulous time there. And we have 4 winners who are Sophie C. from Team 11, Firewise Futures. Manhai A. from Team 15. Saharsh M. from Team 16, Signal Beacon. Manhai A. from Team 15, Percy Jackson, Stuck in a Blue Fire. And Manogna P. from Team 15, Percy Jackson, Stuck in a Blue Fire. All winners are going to receive a pair of First Canada sunglasses. Our next award is the Rising All-Star Award. This is a team award, and the winners will each receive a First Canada mug. This award recognizes the team with the youngest students who demonstrated exceptional potential and talent in STEM fields and showed great promise for future success. This young but mighty team took the STEMathon by storm. We are excited to broadcast the news when it comes to recognizing star potential. Their idea was to have a public reporting app that analyzes weather phenomena and alerts others of potential developing dangers with some high-level tech. And we learned from them that when you see something, say something. Congratulations to team number 8, Storm Tech. Alina S., Aaliyah L., and Brenda G. Our next award is the Best Infographic Award. And folks, as we saw earlier, there are so many great infographics to choose from. The winners of this award will receive a First Canada mug, each member of the team. The Best Infographic Prize is given to the team who delivered a one-page summary providing compelling information along with eye-catching graphics. Here's what the judges had to say about this team. Communication is their strength. Their infographic presents clear, concise, and strong signals. Their infographic communication power is a beacon for other teams. Their product alerts people when extreme conditions are near and how to safely react. Congratulations to team number 16, Signal Beacon. Chloe C, Cameron O, Saharsh M, Haya R, and Ethan B. the Gracious Professionalism Award. This award, nominated by STEMathon mentors, goes to the team members who best exemplify the spirit and ethos of gracious professionalism throughout the event. The winners will receive a First Canada hoodie, and we have 2 winners. All right, here's what the judges had to say about the first winner. This person was always the first to jump in and help, no matter what's needed. She stayed positive, encouraged other teams, and worked tirelessly throughout the event. They showed great maturity and leadership despite only being in grade 10. Their dedication and leadership have been a huge part of their team's success. Congratulations to Adeline Y from Team 9, the Fantastic Five. All right, and here's what the judges had to say about the second winner. This participant consistently maintained a positive attitude when approaching a solution for this STEMathon. Besides their highly evident leadership within the group, they were highly active in the general and random chats. They generally brought a positive atmosphere that helped make this competition feel more like an event between friends. Congratulations to Shreya G from Team 10, Flared Up. All right, our next award is a Spirit Award. The winners of this award, which is a team award, will each receive a First Canada tumbler with stickers. This award recognizes the team that exhibited the most spirit and enthusiasm at the event, whether it be within their team or across the event in Slack. From their constant engagement in Slack to their strong teamwork, this team brought nothing but great energy and enthusiasm. Their project, Snowplows for Indigenous Reserves, was driven by a deep sense of purpose, and it was clear their spirit fueled their work. They uplifted others with their positive interactions and collaborative attitude. They turned the event into a paradise of positivity. Congratulations goes to team number 5, Inverse Paradise. LT, Nadia W, Mengyang Y, Hadya K, and Paraba N. All right, folks, we're getting towards the end here. Our next award is the Pitch Award. The winners will receive a mini portable projector. Emily, how cool is that?
They are so cool.
I'm excited for this one. Like Emily said in opening ceremonies, you can just give a pitch whenever you want. You know, you're
You
right
can do a
there.
pitch from your room. You can
It's
watch movies. You can watch sports.
for anyone moving away to college or university next year. That would be super useful for the dorm room.
I wish I had this when I was in a dorm. Like,
Yeah.
yeah.
All right. So the pitch award is given to the team who delivered a confident summary of the business aspects of their solution, along with a compelling infographic. This team's presentation soared. Their pitch delivered, and their infographic hit the mark. They took the time to understand their problem and construct a solution that was clearly advantageous in comparison with current solutions that exist. It isn't easy to design a well thought out solution, and it's even harder to tell a story on why it was the best solution out there. No matter rain or storm, this team proved they could bear any grisly challenge with a clear vision to a technological solution. Congratulations goes to team number 6, Ursa Titans. Aiden V, Jin Y, Edward W, and Sarah B. All right, our next award is the Best Project Award, and the winners will receive an Arduino starter kit. The Project Award goes to the team who identified a real problem, researched possible solutions, developed a unique solution, and prepared a demo to provide proof of concept. This team took a blazing problem and turned down the volume, literally. This team showed a lot of creativity coming up with a solution that is not only practical, but easy to iterate and amplify in the real world. They showed how disrupting fire doesn't always require water, just the right frequency. Congratulations to team number 3, Team Subsonic. Zachary O, Bianca A, Daniela A, and Alexander M. And folks, now it's time for our final award, the Best Overall Award. As we've said, the winners of this award receive a Bamboo Labs A1 Mini 3D printer. This award is the most prestigious award at the STEMathon. It goes to the team who has not only defined and solved a real-world problem, but also delivered a pitch explaining the business aspects, including a compelling infographic. This team also kept in mind first values while working together as a team. Here's what the judges had to say about the winner. This team offered a unique perspective to their solution, bringing in the fun wherever they could. They carefully considered how to best reach their audience when it came to making a safe and flash decision, and presented their working demo to the judges. Learn to survive, play to prepare, and be blown away by their solution. High Water Duty, the game that teaches kids to prepare for flash floods. Congratulations to team number 13, Team Rapid Response. Nanya T, Taija G, Susan Z, Miriam S, and Japleen G. Emily, that's it. We're almost
It's
done.
over. Almost over.
It is almost over. Hey, congratulations to all the teams, not just the teams who won awards, but every team who participated, everyone who came out for this event. This event is hard, but fun is hard sometimes, and the best kind of fun is hard. And so, congratulations to all of you. Emily, what are your final thoughts on all of this?
It was just such an amazing event. I look forward to every year, and I think every team should be so proud because it was not an easy decision for these judges, I'm sure. All the teams had such amazing ideas. Everyone just be so proud. It was lots of fun. I'm glad everyone seemed to enjoy it.
It it was spectacular. Hey,
Yeah.
team, just a couple notes, housekeeping things. Your certificates and your feedback forms will be delivered via Slack over the next few hours or days. So get them in there. So just keep, checking your alerts on Slack for that one. Thank you to everyone who helped put this event together. The amazing judges, they had such a tough job with so many great teams. Our mentors who were so incredibly supportive, teaching, just having a good time with the teams and just doing so much to support them and provide them the guidance that they need. The First Canada Youth Council for all their support. The entire planning committee, it is the best planning committee to work with. They are just such an amazing group of people. I love working with them. That's probably what I'm almost the most saddest about at this point is that the event's over. Don't worry, there'll be more
No more
projects.
weekly meetings.
I know, I know. And of course, folks, thank you to our teams. Y'all, sometimes we can look at our world and we can see that there's a lot of problems, and disasters are one of them. But with folks like you out there as our future solving these problems, I know our world is going to be in a better spot. So thank you, everyone. Go get some rest, go eat, and have a great rest of the weekend. And we'll see everyone at a first event somewhere. Bye, everyone.
See ya.